All right, for more on that story, we're joined now by the South African Cabin Crew and Alliance Union President Christopher Shabangu. Advocate Shabangu, good evening. Good to have you, and thank you very much for your time.
Good evening, sir, and good evening to your viewers.
We know you as the South African Cabin Crew Association. What informs the name change?
So, thank you very much for attending to that issue. We are happy and so grateful to actually announce to the whole South Africa that, you know, looking at the challenges that South African Cabin Crew as a union, as a niche union, had to go through, we had to expand our scope. And now we are able to now actually attend to everyone, every employee in South Africa. Now we had to now change our name, expand our scope. We are now a union that actually is expanded to all sectors, mining, retail, security, everywhere else. We had to do that for the purpose of just sustaining ourselves as a union and actually taking care of all other employees in the country and be effective in all other spheres. So we are grateful to the Department of Labor that as a union we are now have expanded our scope as a union. Thank you. That's the reason really for us to be able to be sustainable, to fight for a larger group of people and employees in the country.
All right.
So employees in the country should know that they can actually now join South African Cabin Crew and Alliances Union.
Yeah. Let's talk about the employees. I mean, why would the employees be concerned here, especially considering that the sale of SAA comes with some kind of condition that the tribunal would have put to it, and that being that no jobs should be lost?
Look, this goes back far. It goes a little bit far in a sense that it's got some history in it. The history being that we've always complained in how the DPE has handled this whole issue of the sale of shares at South African Airways. So the workers should be concerned. Actually, South Africans should be concerned as to how all of this has been, handled. I'm not going to even talk about role players like Takatso and whatever the story. I'm not going to even talk about them. I'm going to talk directly and specifically about the minister and how he has handled this issue. It has been clear from the start, because we've always had complaints that this is not handled properly. There's a lot of international companies. There's also a lot of South African companies that are willing to invest in South Africa, in South African Airways, and making it a profitable company because they are proud of it. And therefore, the only issue, the only problem that we have had is the minister.
Yeah.
Is the department of the DPE. That's the problem we've been having all along.
Yeah. Do you think the minister made a decision to back? I don't want to say the wrong horse, but it might be wrong now, but it was not wrong to him at the time for whatever reason, because at this particular point we don't know what informs the conduct of the minister, with a view that he would have been very easily able to get 3.5 billion rands from Treasury to take care of the liability, and therefore it would not be an issue. And his big snag now is that Treasury is not budging on this 3.5 billion liability, and Takatso is not interested in taking up that liability.
No. I'm not going to even, you know what, at this point, I'm not going to even blame Takatso. At this point, I'm not going to even blame Takatso. Who should we blame? Takatso put a bid, and they were chosen because of what they presented to the minister. Is the minister not able to actually run the department? That's the question we should be asking. Takatso put a bid, and they were chosen, regardless of how. Whether we like it as unions, whether we like it or we don't. They put a bid and they were chosen based on what they put before the minister. Is the minister capable? That's the question that we should be asking right now. Should the minister maybe do the honorable thing right now and resign? Because a lot of people have lost their jobs. And he can't account today. He cannot be honest enough to give documents to the bodies. In this case, we're talking about Scopa. We cannot even actually give the documents to the Scopa saying, actually, I made the decision based on this and this and that. We can't. Is he old enough to take time to go home? And I am telling you now, as a South African cabin crew and alliances, that to say to you, maybe it is time for the minister to resign, because it is not only about the issue of South African Airways, where he cannot account. In essence, he can't account. A body that he's supposed to account to, he cannot give the documents to. He's refusing to give the documents to. He can't. It's a matter that it should have been very simple. I can account, I've made a decision, I chose Takatso, and therefore, here are the documents. I made a decision based on this and this and that. Yeah. He can't do that.
What do you make of the body that is trying to hold him accountable now, and the choice that they have taken? I mean, they had three, at least from the legal advice that they were getting. One, take the matter to the Speaker. Two, subpoena the thing, use Section 56A, or declare no support for this particular deal. They've opted for what others are saying is the more lenient option, to take this matter to the Speaker.
Why? Why all those options? I am held accountable for something. Why all those options? You can hold me accountable to 3 options, 5, 10 options, but I have a decision that I've made, and my decision as a minister, it is based on these documents that I have. And it's based on this decision. I made these resolutions based on whatever that I've made in terms of inquiring, in terms of whatever. But he hasn't. I don't care how many people and how many bodies. Let's not pass the buck. Let's not say he's been given 3 options or 10 options. Let's not say that. Let's say he made a decision. The decision was informed by 1, 2, 3, and 4. I present that to Scopa. In this case, he can't. He's refusing to. What does that tell you? The man is old enough to go home, respectfully. Let him go home. Let the younger people take care of the DPE, and then resuscitate not just South African Airways, but all the other entities that are under his department. Let's not be afraid to say that. Let's just see that this man has been able to put people at home. People have lost home, marriages. Kids have gone to school, changed schools. People have no incomes because of this man and what he has done. Why are we beating around the bush? He's not able to carry the PPE.
Let's not beat around the bush. I mean, the minister serves at the behest of the president. So the only person really, quite honestly, who can say to the minister, go home, if it's not the minister himself who resigns, it would be the president. Why do you think the president, over a year now, minister playing duck and dive with Parliament on these documents, has the president not said anything?
No. The president is the president. He is the president because he runs the country. We cannot expect. I am not saying, please don't read me wrongly. I'm not in support of any political party, but we should understand structures. The president is the president to overlook the whole running of the country. The ministers are put there to be able to run the country, their departments, and then report to the president. Yes, it is quite true that when things are not going okay, which we have met the president. I must say, I have personally met the president. And you could tell when you meet the president that, he's relying on the people that he has entrusted the power to. In this case, he has entrusted the power of the DPE to Mr. Gordhan. We cannot therefore say, Mr. President, please make sure in case that after the floods everything is running right, when you have put a minister and under the minister there's provincials and whatever else, and then please, Mr. President, after that please make sure Western Cape is working, whatever. We can't. We have one minister that has been entrusted for years to run the DPE, and he has dismally failed. We need to say that. We must confidently say he has dismally failed to run the DPE. Hence we have organs like proud SAA, proud Denel, proud other Transnet, that have run under his command. And yet he's been kept there. Please, our call from the South African cabin crew and associations, we're saying he must resign honorably. It is time for him to go. And the failure for him to provide the documents that are required from him in Parliament, it shows exactly what his intentions are, as we've been saying so many times. And channels like Newzroom Afrika have covered us gratefully. We are grateful to that. Newzroom Afrika has been on this from the start to say the minister has failed. It's just that we couldn't say it. Let's just say it now. The minister has failed. It is time for him to please honorably go home to his grandchildren and let somebody else that can run this department. We need to resurrect our country, resuscitate our economy, and that can only be done by people that have no ulterior motives to run these institutions. Thank you.
Advocate Shabangu, I appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on. That's Advocate Christopher Shabangu. He's now president of the South African Cabin Crew and Alliance Union. Broader footprint, as opposed for the work that they want done in the country.